What's going on, everybody? That's right, it's time for another edition of the Six Gaming Podcast. Ah,
That was perfect.
one cookie, ha, 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 ha. Two cookies,
Oh, jeez.
That's right, you guys. Welcome to the special Halloween edition of the Six Gaming Podcast. Now, I'm a bit of a fuddy-duddy, I guess, whatever you cool kids say these days. I'm not in costume, obviously, but I do have one of our very awesome and illustrious co-hosts, very much in costume, Mr. Pentharian himself.
I am not the master.
Thank God. Destroy everything. I love it. All right, up next, we of course have Mr. Roncli from a very mysterious and oddly serial
Undisclosed
killer.
location.
Yeah, this is...
So you guys need to tell me if somebody sneaks up behind me with this like really big knife.
Actually, Ron,
That's your wife.
Right?
No, she's not here.
I'll tell you what, we'll leave it up to Twitch chat. So Twitch chat, if you guys see Ron about to get murdered, quickly let him know in chat.
Wait,
Never
that's
mind the
a
delay.
20 seconds later, he'll be dead.
Right, but at least you warned him. You guys did what I asked.
Also, there's no one but us in Fish Chat, so...
That's all right. That's all right. Well, maybe next week they'll just suddenly jump in. Anyway, yeah, awesome, you guys. Welcome again. I'm so happy to see you. This is the Halloween episode. And we have some very bizarre news for you today. So let's kick things off with my favorite part.
Good news,
Yes,
everyone!
Oh, Mr. Foos here now.
Good news, everyone.
There you go. All right. So let's talk about trolling for a minute, shall we?
Why?
So South by Southwest conference had an interesting, very interesting little event where they got threatened for what was it? They were holding an online harassment forum. But before it started, some people were calling in fake attacks and other threats, stuff like that. So they canceled them, right? They were doing, what was it, 2 I think panels, and they ended up canceling them because of the threats. Well, a lot of people raged about that whole thing because you're giving in to these threats. You're giving in to these trolls who called in, whatever threat it was. And so people obviously went against that. Turns out that they were not about to be swayed in any way. So Mr. Hugh Forrest, who was the director of the conference, actually said, and I quote, "By canceling these 2 sessions, we sent an unintended message that South by Southwest not only tolerates online harassment, but condones it, and for that we are truly sorry." So what did they do? They then decided, instead of doing 2 little panels, they are going to do an entire day, dedicated to online harassment. It's
let's
like an online
back up
forum.
for just a moment, because one of the other things that happened as part of this is that they canceled these 2 panels that were basically women in gaming type things.
Right.
And at the same time, they added a panel that was like a pro Gamergate thing. And we've talked about Gamergate a little bit. I'm not going to get into the whole thing.
Jesus.
But it was basically a double whammy. They basically were like, we're not going to do this because there's threats. Also, we're going to give a voice to these people that are basically the same people that were threatening the panels that we just dismissed. And I don't want to talk about Gamergate at all right now, but the whole thing that went on was very... It did not reflect well on them the way they handled it.
No, it didn't. But, I mean, at least they recognized that very early. Just after they made the mistake, oh, crap, we need to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of tried to make amends, I guess you could call it. I don't know what an all-day panel would do that just hosting the originals wouldn't do. But, yeah, so...
Basically, what they're basically saying is that, yeah, we screwed up, we know we screwed up, and we're going to try to make up for it the best we can.
And the golden rule is don't feed the trolls, people. Just don't. Let them do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll get into this later.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come up. Don't worry. Okay, so another interesting one that we stumbled across. So everybody knows StarCraft 2 is a highly, highly, highly competitive game, especially in South Korea. I mean, South Korea has entire TV channels dedicated to broadcasting these matches, right? Well, so 12 people were arrested from a South Korean clan called Prime for illegal betting.
I don't think it was betting. I think it was match fixing. They actually had players throw the matches.
That's why you would do it, right? So, yeah, they were throwing these matches for this big income. Apparently, what they said was their manager, Gerard, had the team heavily in debt, and the team members weren't getting paid. So all this kind of accumulated to where they said, look, let's just start throwing matches similar to like what you would do in boxing, right? You bet on the other guys, you lose, and you make all your money for your team.
This sounds very, very similar to the way that AHQ handled their team. You remember Promise from about a year ago, the guy that jumped off the building? Now, he jumped off the building because he was one of the people that was involved in it. And he didn't like what he was doing, but he felt he had no choice. And he tried to take his life because of it.
Peer pressure's a bitch. I mean,
money's a bitch, too.
Yeah, I mean, this does sound a bit different, sadly. Well, the original one's what's sad, but this one, it's a little different, it sounds like, because it sounds like the entire team was on it. Hence the 12 people that were arrested.
Yeah.
One thing that they did say, though, that I found was interesting is that those members of the teams that weren't arrested completely quit, severed all ties to the group, want nothing to do with it. They just walked away. This is not us, and distanced themselves.
Yep, GTFO.
So, yeah, and I don't blame them. I mean, honestly, when you're facing charges. And the thing is, I guess, South Korea is very, very particular about gambling and everything else that goes on. So, yeah, I have a feeling they're probably facing federal charges at that point. But I don't know. I don't know South Korean law. So, anyway, let's see. Up next, No Man's Sky got a launch window announced here. What was this, 2 days ago? Something like that?
A few days ago, yeah. Sometime last week.
Just a couple days ago. Anyway, so June of 2016, we're finally getting No Man's Sky. If you guys didn't see this, one, I kind of feel bad for you. It was amazing, but they announced this at E3 earlier in the year. And it is an amazing looking game. It really is. Anyway, what's your guys' thoughts on this whole thing? I mean, that does sound kind of far away to me.
Well, it depends on. I mean, a lot of the game is like procedural generation, but to have a game as big as No Man's Sky, that's a lot of stuff.
Right, it is,
that they have to prepare for.
Well, and I think we should probably touch on that though. So, No Man's Sky was interesting because take EVE Online, I think it is, with the spaceships. So there's a lot of the space exploration and stuff, but you can actually go. You can stop on planets, and then you can terraform, you can mine, you can just explore the planets. But everything that you do has repercussions, of course, on anything that happens later. And then on top of it, it's kind of multiplayer. So everybody's going to kind of get different things, and you can still interact with other people. It's really interesting, but very involved.
I heard, I read another article related to No Man's Sky that said that they are really questioning whether or not they can hit that date on PlayStation.
I don't blame them.
They're having some trouble with PS4, so we might end up seeing this release date moved out. But I don't know. This is actually something I've heard a lot about that I may actually end up getting this game. We'll see.
Oh, I probably will.
This is the kind of game that I'm gonna get. I want Steam Link and the controller, so I can just lay across my couch and lounge and play it on my TV.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a little bit like there's parts that will be stressful, but for the
Right.
most part, it's going to be almost like Minecraft, where
That's what it sounds
you
like, yeah.
wander around and you find new things, and
Right. Well, and I don't know if you guys watched the whole presentation or whatever, but with regard to what Ron said, when they showed this off at E3, they were still experiencing demos, and they were very quick to say, hey, this is an early alpha build, but this is what we want to bring to you guys. So I can see them pushing it back. It's got to be complicated to program, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
But, all right, so moving on, how many of you guys are fans of Zelda? Right? Who isn't? We're gamers. It's great stuff. Have you guys ever heard of a little website called Think Geek?
No, not at all.
Right?
no,
Because
no
because all
idea.
that,
What is it?
because all of that's Portal stuff that's usually behind me isn't from ThinkGeek.
Oh, I know. Exactly.
All
Well,
of my office toys.
exactly. And if you guys aren't picking up what I'm trying to allude to, yeah, Think Geek is now getting some officially licensed Zelda gear. Right now, specifically in the form of a watch. The watch is interesting. It's a little bit bigger. It's a metal watch. It's got kind of like was it like a bronze kind of look to it, like steampunk almost, but it's $40. God, it
It's got
looks
like a
cool, but
Triforce inlaid.
yeah, I can't do it though for that price. I don't even wear watches.
$40 for a watch? That's
That's
like
cheapo.
yeah.
See, I don't wear
Watches
watches.
browse
I
the
don't know
old
anything
people,
about them. I don't know. It really is an interesting looking watch, and I really think it's cool. But I can't do
I
it.
have to know the build quality before I mean, $40 is a lot for a cheap watch, but
Right.
not expensive for a good watch.
Yeah, and that's just it. It looked fairly bare bones though, like just the clock. You're not getting date or anything else out of this. But
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's really
Still,
cool.
it's Zelda. I mean, you can go around and say, "Hey, look at my really cool Zelda watch," and people will be like, "Ooh and ah, where'd you get that?"
They might, but those of us who are familiar with ThinkGeek are going, nobody cares,
Oh,
dude.
one of the people staying at this place with me is a United flight attendant, and apparently she's a big Zelda fan too.
Awesome. And that's really cool. Go show her the watch. Maybe you
Exactly.
can, get a little foot in the door there.
I'm like hoping for commission from ThinkGeek, which I don't think is going to happen. So
Right. Oh, I don't blame you. Okay, so Ron, you're pretty big on mobile, right?
it's kind of.
So, did you have an Xbox now, right? Last I checked.
I do.
Have you ever played Titanfall?
I have that for PC actually. I got that before I got the Xbox.
Oh, well, there you go. Did you like it?
I haven't played it. I like installed it. I mean, it's installed. I
You
can
ruined my
play it
entire
today.
setup. But
And, yeah.
all right, so Titanfall, Microsoft, who owns Titanfall, gave out the license to a company called, was it Mojang? No, it's not Mojang. What the hell's wrong with me?
Oh, dang, that's like-
Nexon, excuse me, to start making mobile device Titanfall games.
and it's based on the universe. It's not actually Titanfall you're going to be playing on a mobile device. It's like
Right.
RTSs or maybe some other kind of genres related to the Titanfall universe, but not Titanfall itself.
Well, and their choice of developer is interesting because it's Nexon, and if you guys don't know, they're the guys who did the MMO MapleStory, and they had a game called Kart Rider, which is hugely popular.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a very interesting and unique art style. Their stuff is fairly simplistic, typically. It'll be interesting to see what they can do with this, especially something like Titanfall. It's an aggressive, fast game, stuff like that. It'd be interesting to see if they can actually win with a decent port.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, they're not going to be porting the game, and they're going to be all new games.
Yeah.
But it's going to be based on the Titanfall IP.
Still, it should be interesting.
Yeah,
to say
definitely.
the least. So, all right. Does anyone else have news, real quick? Or?
Some stills from the Warcraft movie leaked today.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Anybody see any of those?
No.
Hold on, let me put it up.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been far too obsessed with the Deadpool movie. Those have been the links I want.
Let me share.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I see the forum posts. There's some nice stuff here.
I don't even.
Where's my?
I can't start searching through the internet. Doesn't work.
Well, you don't have to search through the internet show. You know why?
Why?
Because you're going to be able to find this on our Facebook site at fb.me/6gaminggg.
Oh, shameless plug. That's right, guys. Go check us out.
I missed it last week. I didn't get to do it.
That's all right. That's all right.
That was
I don't
perfect.
know how, if it was
Alright,
even.
almost got it.
Yeah.
There we go.
You're slow. It's already on the
There we
website.
go.
Yeah, ooh.
No, I'm putting it up here.
Ooh,
Very
yeah,
nice.
go back.
And that's like a film still, so that's what he's gonna look like. So
Mhm.
That's
he looks like
amazing.
an orc. He looks just like him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
As long as they've done I assume he's gonna have to dub his lines or something so that his mouth doesn't sound filled with teeth.
So he's not
He's
CG.
not actually filled with teeth.
Well, it's
They are
CG and like costume.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and I figured they would do the orcs in CG. You know, give them that extra detail or whatever.
I'm not sure, but it's some combination.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Already they look better than the stupid ones in Lord of the Rings, so I'm pretty happy with it.
Mhm.
All right, so Ron, I think you want this next section. What's going on with Law Worlds?
Well, I want to know if Dan is like drinking.
Oh yeah, he's drinking.
What
I
are you
drink
drinking?
whiskey now. Whiskey is cool.
Whiskey.
Oh.
Is cool.
Like fezzes, or bow
Yeah,
ties
fezzes
even.
are cool. Bow ties are definitely cool.
Fezzes are cool.
The doctor is good.
Doctor's
The
always
doctor is
good,
good.
Yes, doctor.
right?
Doctor's in, ladies and gentlemen.
The
All right.
doctor-
So, League of Legends, of course, finals wrapped up. After we went off the air last week, the Ku Tigers 3-1 Fnatic, which set up an all-Korean final, at which point I completely decided to not be interested at all in the final. So I didn't even watch it. But for those of you that did, you got to see something pretty cool. They did the intros prior to the actual games where they introduce each individual player.
Mm-hmm.
And SKT T1's mid laner Faker, as he's walking out onto stage, this dude just straight up does a somersault in the middle of the stage and gets
Awesome.
up with this straight face, calm and cool as can be. You know, it's like, you know this guy's badass.
Right? Who
You
does
know-
that?
you know he's
That's pretty impressive. That's just flying.
Faker does that. And
Right.
he had the game to back it up, too, as SK Telecom T1 beats the Ku Tigers 3-1 to win the 2015 World League of Legends Championship.
Sweet.
And they are the first team to win twice. They won 2 out of the last 3 years.
Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yep.
And
So-
somersault. Like when I first heard about this, I thought maybe he did it by accident. You know, he tripped.
No,
and it's
absolutely.
embarrassing. But
Absolutely intended.
yeah, I'm impressed. I couldn't do that. I don't. Sorry.
I,
Go
I would
ahead.
be scared. I would be scared screwing it up and like falling on my ass.
Right.
I wouldn't do anything like that. So,
But
So
Mr.
but
Fu,
Mr.
badass.
Mr.
Mr.
Fu
Fu
said it reminded
brought up
him
that-
of Willy Wonka.
So I saw an interesting thing where like apparently Gene Wilder demanded like part of his like contract or like when he talked to the original director, he demanded that he be allowed to do that
Right.
because his idea was that like Willy Wonka comes out with a cane and then he does a somersault and springs up and like from the very moment that you meet him you can't trust him because
Right.
he might be playing you, which I
Yep.
think is brilliant.
That is. I never read that deep into it. That's
Nice.
that's pretty good. No, I'm never going to be able to watch the movie the same way again. But
If you want to talk about deep, I just posted today, and I can post on the website, or Ron can find it. Someone posted on Reddit a really convincing argument that Jar Jar Binks is actually a Sith Lord.
Oh, jeez.
really,
Don't give me this.
no.
It's legit convincing. Like I went into it like,
Really?
yeah, right. But like they like showed scenes and they talked about really specific
Uh-huh.
things that he does. And their theory is that he's going to end up being like the head of the Sith in the new movies, which I think it's more like the evidence that's in the movies points to it being a possibility, but not what Lucas intended. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's like you can make it work.
I've
It's
actually
like
had
chronology.
I had a 3-hour debate with one of my coworkers over whether or not Phantom Menace was actually worth having in the trilogy, the first trilogy, because to me, Jar Jar Binks was like the worst fucking character ever created. It's
Ever.
dumb as hell. You know, he's just annoying. he brought up an interesting point though, because according to him, he's 100% necessary to the story. You know what I mean? No, but he's the one who had the final deciding vote whether or not to give the Chancellor supreme power.
No, and that's part of that argument. Is
Right.
that especially also is that like they talked about how like when a Jedi is using Jedi mind tricks, they always gesticulate.
Right.
And they showed the clip, like there's a GIF in there from when Jar Jar is addressing the Senate, and he's like waving his hands like this to like everyone in the Senate chamber.
Oh,
So
that's pretty convincing.
Jedi mind tricks on everyone. He's probably just waving his hands, but
yeah.
But it talks about like it's really convincing.
Jeez.
That's awesome. We need George Lucas on the podcast.
Yeah, good luck. Back to Fake Your Wildest. Bill says you're supposed to be wearing a hat when you do the somersault, and the hat falls part way off, and when you land on your feet, the hat lands back on your head. That would have been badass.
That would be really badass. I'd be impressed if someone could pull it off,
right.
Honestly.
But anyway, that is, well, of course, the next major event in League of Legends is the All-Star event, which does not take place until the middle of December. So we're not going to be talking about League for a while.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're welcome, Dan. And that's news.
Dan's liver thanks you. Definitely.
Yeah, I still got all this scotch and whiskey. I don't know what to do with
it. You'll find a way. Don't worry.
Know what to do with it.
No.
He figured it out. He figured it out.
I figured it out.
Just angry at me. Give me whiskey. Watch what
I got rid of it.
Well done, Doc.
Awesome. All right, so, whew, you guys, I can barely hold in my excitement, right? Because this is my favorite part of the show.
Oh,
hey, podcasters, what you playing? Yes! It's the best title ever, and we're sticking with it.
Well, I stole it from Hey Ash, what you playing?
I know, and it's a brilliant
nod.
It's a brilliant nod. I love Hey Ash. That whole video series is amazing. Just go look it up on YouTube, you guys. Hey Ash, what you playing? Their father is probably the best.
The BioShock one and the Puzzle Quest one, I think, are my favorite too.
Puzzle Quest was great. That one was really
cool. If you're colorblind, the Puzzle Quest one will be the best.
Right. No, I mean, I saw it. Actually, it was Yoshi's Cookie. That one had me rolling nonstop.
Oh, the Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah.
The Dark Knight one was also awesome.
Yeah. Ooh, cupcake. Let me make this cupcake disappear. Oh, God. All right, Ash, you're too cool. I love it. Okay, so, Penth, what you been playing?
I've been playing Witcher 3 still, or sorry, Witcher 2, Chapter 3. Finally in the last chapter. Thinking about not, like, the thing is, in Skyrim, I had no problem abandoning, like, almost all of my side quests just so I could finish the main quest and finish the game.
Right.
Because most of the side quests were like, go kill a lion in a cave somewhere. Fine, whatever. But like all the Witcher side quests are like legit interesting things.
Right.
So I have a hard time abandoning them, and I honestly, they don't totally make it clear what's the main quest and what isn't.
Yeah.
So I might just finish that out, and because a lot of the time if I do the main quest and I realize it's the main quest, then I'll stop so I can do the side quests.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But this, I think I'll just go with whatever looks interesting, and if I finish the game without finishing all the side quests, then so be it.
That works. I couldn't bring myself past the first stupid game, so.
The first game is hard to play. I watched a Let's Play, watched a video summary and read the plot, and that was it. Like the first game is not worth playing through. The second game, if you can get past like the intro area, it gets a lot better. And the third game apparently is fantastic. I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, everyone's saying the third one's well worth it. Even if that's your starting point. So.
Yeah. And also I got I've had this game for a while. It's called 140.
Never heard of that. Yeah.
This number is 140. It's like a rhythm.
Oh, I've seen this
game.
Yeah, I remember seeing this.
It's a little bit like what was the other game called?
Tap
it's a little bit like it's a little bit like Thomas Was Alone.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like a platformer, but there's some rhythm involved, and like it's very geometric colors and whatever.
Hmm.
It's just an interesting game that I never finished it, so I went back and played a little bit this week.
Nice.
I recommend it if you can get it for just a couple bucks. I think I got it in a Humble Bundle.
Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't seen that anywhere on the Humble side. So,
Yeah.
anything else?
Nope, that's it.
That's it. All right. So, I'll just go real quick because mine's very easy. Been playing a lot more Grand Theft Auto again. Um, don't worry, Chad. I'm going to get to you. So, a lot of Grand Theft Auto, a lot of Star Wars again, and then of course Assassin's Creed. I railed about Assassin's Creed last week, if you guys remember. Like it's complete bullshit. It's stupid that they are giving the PC release on November, but anyway, so I went and I bought it for my PlayStation 4. So I started playing that. It's actually a lot of fun. So this is, to me, kind of the culmination of what Assassin's Creed should have been. What they did was they took the control scheme from Unity, and then they mixed it in with Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. So it's like this perfect game, and it's amazing. Graphically, it's really, really cool. Definitely a lot of fun. I recommend it. There you go.
Very nice.
So, Ron, what the hell have you been playing?
I've been playing this game called maybe you've heard of this before. It's called Apartment Hunt.
I hear that's a really time-consuming game.
It's also very expensive at where I'm playing it.
What's the subscription fee for that?
It's like more than 2,000 a month. Anyway, what I have been playing in my spare time, been playing just a little bit of Crypt of the Meeker Dancer, maybe 15 minutes, not much at all. And then Wednesday I got a chance to play a few Descent games on the DCL on my phone's internet, which has crapped out. So I can't really do a whole lot more of it. I've also gotten back into playing a little bit of Descent Underground again. Now that has gone open beta. Anyone who has backed Descent Underground can get access to the game. I don't really know what to say without sounding like I'm down on the game, but
Ron, does that really count as open beta though?
Sure.
If you were a backer?
Sure.
Yeah, it just sounds like a beta.
Maybe, I don't know. But
anyway,
so I posted a video. You can see that at youtube.com/roncli of what Descent Underground is like when you're playing on a bad connection. And,
good lord.
And the best word I can use to describe it is unplayable.
Wow.
You take the Diablo 3's rubber banding and apply it to 3D space, and you don't know what you're doing.
How can you?
They've got to fix this. I can't imagine this being something that they are going to put up with.
Right.
Because you just can't play when it's like that.
Well,
and then,
aren't you guys still pretty early in the development?
It's pretty early. It's a 2016 release, but I'm really surprised it's like that. And it's and the funny thing is that now that I've noticed when it happens when you have a bad connection, I'm actually noticing little tiny corrections in the ship's positioning when you're under a good connection, and it's awful. It's really bad, really hard to play. So
yeah, that sucks.
It would suck if the game comes out like that because I put a lot of resources into that.
Yeah.
But there's still Descent 1. It's still awesome.
There you go.
Playing that.
What else? That's it?
What else?
Well, yeah. I mean, you've been moving, so.
Yeah. So.
Finally
I'm lucky I can play anything.
Exactly. Very true. Okay, so let's move on to my favorite part of the show. And I know what you guys are thinking, right? What
Every part of your show's favorite.
That it becomes my favorite part. Well, I'll tell you, this is the Six Gaming Roundtable. I love this part of the show. So, what the Six Gaming Roundtable is every week we come up with a new question, myself or one of my co-hosts, and we pose it to the group, and of course you guys in chat. So this week is actually really interesting. This was given to me by Mr. Roncli. So, Ron, will you do the intro, please?
Well, of course, the whole South by Southwest issue is a very touchy point with a lot of people, and I actually got into an argument with my wife over this, over something that was tweeted out. So the question that I bring up is, did South by Southwest take the right approach in dealing with these online harassment panels? And after what you said earlier, I would say no.
Define what right approach is. Do you mean what they've done since they got flack, or their first?
How they got to where they are now.
So pretty much the whole thing.
The whole thing. Taking the whole situation.
I mean,
as a single unit.
To that point, I would say that they screwed up at first, and then they backpedaled and took a decent option. I mean, doing the whole day thing is probably a little bit overboard. That's a little overcompensating, but I'd say their first reaction was the wrong thing, to cancel it and give a voice to the opposition. But the fact that they then listened to the blowback and reinstated something, I think, is a pretty good. That shows they're listening.
And that's something you've said a lot, is that, you know, when a company screws up, how they react to it is important and should not be frowned upon when they actually make the right move.
Yeah,
but I was in that boat. I was totally on board with that until I heard from Show just now that, or was it from you, that they had panels for the other side of it too.
Yeah, that was
well, but that was kind of all at the same time. It's like, it's not like they canceled it and then they added Gamergate panels.
Well, and as soon as
the Gamergate panels when they added the new ones. I'm not sure if they did, though.
Well, and as soon as you said that, too, my mind instantly went to like a debate format. You know, you get those who are for one side and those who are for the other, and give your side of the story, what it is you believe. But all right, so for me, it's interesting, right?
Well, it's interesting because they pulled both of them.
Right.
They pulled both the pro-Gamergate and the anti-Gamergate, and
at least they were fair though in doing that.
And only reinstated the anti ones.
That I don't agree with, but see, I don't know. See, for me, I watch a lot of like the DEF CON conferences and stuff like that, and the thing is, you couldn't get away with that with any of these other big conferences, these big conventions, like you can, you know, with some of these others. So to me, it sounds like these guys were getting trolled. They weren't prepared for it like they should have been, because they should know by now it's going to happen. You guys shouldn't have, you know, canceled it, definitely. I'm all for standing your ground pretty much. So one of the big things I was talking to a coworker about would be, and this is a little you know, off to the side, but so one of my guys was still railing about the whole what's that chicken place you eat, Ron?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, there you go.
Shenanigans?
Right? Pistol whip. So we were talking about Chick-fil-A and how he said, well, it's not right for a company to impose their religious views on, you know, their employees and blah, 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 blah. My side of that was, though, you know, but at least they're standing up for their ideals. You know what I mean? Same with Hobby Lobby. You might not agree with them politically or religiously, but they stood their ground. You know what I mean? They're very much, this is what I believe, this is what I want to do. For me, as South by Southwest is a huge thing to a lot of people. This is a big event. To me, they should have stood their ground. If you say you guys are going to do this, then do it. If you had early, and I don't know when these threats came out, but if you had early, even slightly credible threats, do some security checks. Maybe postpone these talks a little bit, but don't just quit. That's my thing. Never mind who they reinstated. I really have a problem that you guys back down. I kind of equate it to the whole Walmart and the Confederate, or not Walmart, Amazon and the Confederate flag thing. Like, Amazon sold that thing for years. As soon as the big Confederate flag issue came up, they instantly pulled it and said, oh, we don't support this. That's bullshit, because you fuckers have been selling it for who knows how long, and suddenly it's an issue, so we back up. That's a problem to me.
It's a matter of honesty in that case. Not necessarily about standing up your morals, but you can say, due to the debate about this, and we've reevaluated how we feel about it, and
if they
in
would have
that
done
case, we've
that, I would have
decided
been
that we're
fine.
going to take it down.
Yeah, if that's what they would have said, awesome. You know what? Go do it. But
Yeah.
they didn't.
Well,
They're just
my
like,
thing,
no.
my whole thing with it is we don't know the whole story.
Exactly.
We could sit here and talk about what happened with them pulling it, that they shouldn't have pulled it, that they should have added security initially. We don't know the whole story behind it.
No.
And I don't think that it's fair to judge them based on what we don't know.
Well,
I think that they got to the end result that I think is fairly good. How they went about it kind of sucks.
yeah, I don't know. See, now my mind keeps going back to people trying to harass like DEF CON. Dude, I fucking
Yeah.
dare you to
But I
harass
mean,
DEF CON.
I, yeah, really. But I mean, the people that were involved in this on the Bro side, of course. I mean, these are people that got forced out of their homes
Yeah.
from threats, and now they want to come out and make a stand, and they need a platform to do that.
Right. Yeah. They really do. No one's given it to them, until now.
Maybe South by Southwest didn't realize that they are a good platform for this until this all happened. Now they're caught up in the middle of it.
Could be.
And they're saying, hey, maybe we should do something positive about this. We don't know. We don't know if the reasons behind it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
First, like if somebody, this is an argument I used with my wife the other night. If somebody were to start harassing her, what would my first instinct be? Giving her threats and stuff like that. My first instinct is protect.
Right.
Protect.
You have to defend your family.
And maybe South by Southwest did that, and they said, protect, let's cancel. Let's not have these threats manifest into anything.
Right.
Maybe they didn't think it through. They just canceled.
And the only thing that's killing me is we have to keep referring to this. Right. We have to keep referring to this as threats, right? Because I don't know, I should say, what these actual threats were.
Yeah,
so my mind kind of backtracks to, well, it's probably not like a bomb threat or something big because all they did was cancel these panels and they didn't cancel the rest of the show. So then I have to kind of wonder, again, what are these threats? I think that because you didn't cancel the show, those panels, there was something else that they could have done, like security guards or, whatever, alert the police and press on. And that to me is what I think is disturbing. You guys, it doesn't sound like they did enough to actually protect.
But eventually they did.
They did, and that's awesome because they didn't just do the 2 panels, and I think each panel was like an hour or 2 hours, right? They give them an entire day to do this. So that's
also one thing that I wanted to point out also that I forgot to mention earlier, and I don't think we mentioned at all, was that part of the backlash when they said that they were going to cancel the first 2 panels is BuzzFeed and Vox and a couple others both said they were going to completely withdraw from the event. So that was part of what.
Wow.
It was like all the online backlash, but also like they were going to lose some major sponsors.
Oh yeah,
and
maybe.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
The threats, mostly via Twitter, were anything from mutilating one's pets to rape.
Yeah, of course.
Jesus.
That's the way this whole Gamergate thing is. I mean, these people have these grand, over-the-top threats that basically are designed to make people scared for their lives.
Absolutely.
And one thing to point out is that the pro gamer gators, that's a stupid word, have also been recipients of death threats and bomb scares and so forth. So I mean, as much as I think that the general consensus on this podcast is that it is generally an kind of misogynistic group, but that there are some things that they have points about. Like, I think we're kind of moderate on the whole thing. Is kind of what we've had discussions about. Is both sides have pros and cons. So we have to remember that no matter which side you support, doing crappy things to the other side is really just as bad.
Absolutely.
As anything else. Like, it doesn't. Even if you support the side that you think is the right side, you should still condemn the people who are making threats against the other side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. If you know somebody involved in this that's coming out and saying, I'm going to threaten this person because I'm going to go murder them if they go to this panel, if they do this panel, that person needs to be outcast from anything they're involved with.
Yeah. You
So
know?
it's stupid. It makes me want to say, stop the world. I want to get off.
No,
Ron and
yeah,
I dealt with this
absolutely.
a lot in the game that we used to play. We had to deal with people making threats and
Mm-hmm.
being crazy because when you can't speak to someone to their face, people just think that they can say whatever they want because they don't feel any kind of responsibility for the things they say.
No, yeah, this is the beautiful age of anonymous, you know. Not the group, but just in general.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the internet you can be whatever you want to be.
God, I remember seeing some really awful stuff in that. It was their issue system, is what they called it. I mean, some of the people were just completely stupid, for
Right.
lack of a better term.
Like we'd see logs that would be like a person telling another person that they're going to find out where they live and they're coming to their house and murder them or rape them or whatever. And it's like you look at their player information and they're like 15,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's like
Well,
I just have to assume that they have a bad home life or something, or just no one's taught them to be a decent human being yet.
right.
But
Well,
we're talking about adults here for the most part.
and sadly we are, you know, and a lot of those, I guess you could call them early age griefers or trolls, you know, a lot of them, sadly, thanks to the internet and this free and open source of information, you know, a lot of them know that, well, I'm underage. The police can't do anything to me, you know, like I'm just gonna walk. Maybe some probation, but
How's that Offspring song go? If you're under 18,
you won't be doing any tie. Yeah, great song. But no, I mean, I definitely think that contributes, and you know, go play a first-person shooter with your microphone on, you know, and hear what some of these people are saying. And the problem is, it's not just kids, like Pent was saying. These are grown freaking adults that do the exact same freaking thing. And if you really want to know how bad and stupid society is, go check out 4chan's random board.
let's not advertise that, please.
Right, but I'm saying there's a complete cesspool out there, and I think it is because of this anonymous view
Now you make me
of
want to
the
look
internet.
behind me to see if there's anyone with a large knife that's not my wife.
Not yet. Not yet.
We're good. Okay.
Apparently, my hitman's a couple hours late, so stay where you are. He'll be there.
What? No. Guys, I'm leaving.
All right, yeah.
Ron, move a couple inches to the left.
Why is that, man?
No, just over the X, Ron. That you
Over
see
the-
the X on the ground?
No, what X?
That was a horrible movie,
That-
by
no,
the
wait,
way,
wait.
but I still enjoyed it.
That's where you're supposed to put the portals, right? So that you knock out the turrets.
Exactly. Yeah. How'd you know?
No, it was what movie was that?
Oh,
was
I'm
that movie
thinking
with
like
Angelina
Frame
Jolie?
Roger Rabbit.
Oh, I was thinking that movie with Angelina Jolie where he like could fling the bullets around corners and stuff.
Oh, yeah. God, that was a bad movie. Hell, I don't remember, but I know. Oh, Wanted.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wanted. I
Wanted,
think it was.
yeah.
There you go. So.
It was a good premise, but not executed well.
Yeah, no, not in the least. Especially when they had the explainer in chief in one of his worst roles ever.
Mhm.
So, anyway,
Then he got a new freckle.
he really did, right? Oh God, why? That's it for me. I don't have any other arguments for this. You guys?
Nope.
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 All I ask.
I've got one quick follow-up question for everyone.
Yeah, let's do it.
Closing argument. Completely and totally unrelated. What is the best and the worst candy?
Worst goes to
Worst goes
candy
to-
corn.
Yeah, candy corn. I agree.
Candy corn, hands down.
Absolutely.
Like
Yes.
even including like those orange and black like toffee taffy things that you get
I'll
at
eat those
Halloween.
all
Yeah, no, I'll eat those. Those are
Okay.
fun. Yeah, actually, for me though, the best is I have this deep love of Skittles. I don't know what it is, but I can. My wife, when I deploy, she sends me a 1 pound bag of Skittles. It
A week.
usually lasts about 2 weeks. A 1 freaking pound bag. I love Skittles. There's something about it. So, that's
Mine
the
would
best.
be Reese's peanut butter cups.
Ooh, those are good too.
Love those.
Yeah.
They will
I
kill
need
me.
to try them frozen. You know, they're advertising freeze them now, and they're supposed to be awesome.
That's pretty good.
I gotta try it.
I think
What
Baby
about you?
Ruth might be my favorite.
Yeah?
And least favorite? No. I don't like candy corn, but like I
Black
eat it and
licorice?
I'm just kind of like okay with it.
At least you can do that. I feel like gagging.
Yeah, I think maybe like those just kind of like the unmarked, unbranded, horrible like the Tootsie Rolls that are not real Tootsie Rolls.
Oh yeah, they come in
Just
different
like
colors.
yeah, they're just the super chewy but not sweet. Yeah, wax lips actually. Wax lips are probably the worst candy because
Oh
I'm not
God.
sure that's really candy.
Are those still a thing these days? Like I remember getting those when I was a kid, but you'd think they'd stop making it by now.
You would think so, but I haven't ever seen them. But I've only taken my kid out to like 6 houses each year because then he's done.
Oh yeah, he's still young.
Yeah.
But, all right. Well, awesome. So that'll do it, you guys, for this week's podcast. Thank you very much for coming. Of course, I love having each and every one of you every week. I am just completely pandering, so thank you for putting up with it. But yes, I'm very happy to have you guys. Definitely, we do this every single Saturday at 10 p.m. soon to be Central Standard Time.
Yes.
Because I mess it up every week. Thank you guys again for showing up. Let's go ahead and say our goodbyes, Mr. Pentharian.
Goodbye. I don't want to go.
Right. Ron?
Goodbye, everybody.
That was actually better than mine. I like it. Well, for me, I'm not doing it because, yeah, I don't do the whole Halloween. So all I have to say is, right here, be excellent to each other.
That's just kind of
Yeah.
like the Will Wheaton thing.
Yeah, it kind of is. I like it,
Don't
though.
be a
That's
dick.
it, possibly. Yeah.
I do have to find out what Keanu Reeves thinks when he
Actually,
looks back at that movie.
so two out of three of us are time travelers tonight.
Yeah. What's up, Ron? No
Ron.
themes?
Sorry, I just don't. I'll go get a DeLorean. How about
All right.
Okay.
Well, then we're gonna end it on Ron's fail tonight, as we should every night.
Hey.
Thanks again, you guys. Now, Mr. Roncli, take it away.
See you. Bye.